And a good Thursday, everybody. Welcome in. Chase and Big Joe, 1025 The Game. We're live at the Omni Nashville Hotel here at Bar Lines. He is Santa Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier, back at the studio. What's up, Joe?
Oh, man, what's happening? Oh, it's a good day, buddy. Doing
It is
okay?
a good day. I'm good. Yeah, you got the get up on. You're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm checking the naughty list today. A lot of naughty people down there at the Omni. So it's good, though, man. It's going to be we're a week out from Christmas.
We are. So it's almost here. If you're watching this, Santa looks tired.
Santa had a long night.
Yeah, here's the thing about this Santa. Joe is not the traditional Santa. Joe is the Santa that smells like tequila and
Chicken tenders.
And chicken tenders,
Yep.
yeah.
So welcome in, everybody.
Yes. So
Hello, everybody.
Nick says Santa looks like he's been drinking.
Santa's had a rough morning. But we're here. We made it.
We are. So we're here at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, our home away from home on Thursdays. It is our last one here this year, as we'll be off for Christmas and New Year's, so we'll take a couple weeks off and be back at it the first of the year. Always appreciate everybody here at Bar Lines and Todd with the Omni and being back with us in 2026.
Yeah, Todd. Look, gosh, we're not going to be back here for 2 more weeks, right?
No.
Holy cow. We got Christmas and then New Year's and rolling to 26, man, getting it going.
Indeed, we will. I do want to start, on a sad note. And I hate that we have to start on a sad note, but woke up to the news this morning that Sheila Crisp, wife of Terry Crisp, better known as Crispy, passed away last night. She had been battling cancer and obviously gave it all she had. If you ever met Sheila, you knew that she would never go down without a fight, especially after being married to Crispy for as long as she was.
Right.
But, and Crispy, his personality, hers matched it. And Sheila was always a ray of sunshine and laughing and smiling and always picking at you and stuff. So really hated to see that news and that she had passed away. But that's no other information on that. But just our thoughts and prayers go out to Terry, his family, and the Preds community on the passing of Sheila Crisp.
She was always pleasant. Always nice. It's not one of those like, oh, we're going to, because somebody's passed away, let's speak good things. She was always genuine, always nice, always come up and say hi to us. We did that thing last year at the Pancake Pantry, and they were there, and they came over, and were just so nice, her and Terry. I hate this. And they were married, 50-something years?
Right? Yeah.
Hate that, man. I just really do. So such good people. And I just, man.
I love the picture they used on the story. It's when Crispy was put in the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame and he and Sheila dropped the puck. And it's Roman Yossi, and then Ryan O'Reilly was the captain of the Blues at the time.
Oh, nice.
So it's that's who did the honorary face-off. But again, Crispy, we're thinking about you and the kids, and the grandkids, and I texted with Pete a little bit this morning, and he, obviously tough for him because he and his wife Claudia are very close with Terry and Sheila, and I know Claudia's been, with Sheila a lot, through this. So, just a sad day in Smashville, and obviously their kids, Tony, Jeff, and Kaylee, and 10 grandchildren. Which, how cool would it be to have Crispy and Sheila as your grandparents?
Yeah, right. Terrible. Such a good person.
Yeah. So we hate that, and we just send our love to them. But we're happy to be here today at Bar Lines. And,
right. Well, don't we have more news?
Yeah.
Do you want to bring it up or?
Yeah, we will. So there was a plane crash in North Carolina that reportedly is owned by former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle. There are unconfirmed reports about him and his family being on the plane, but they're unconfirmed. But multiple fatalities. It's a bad situation. They just had a press conference where they didn't really say too much, but it looked like the plane had engine trouble shortly after takeoff and was trying to double back and unfortunately couldn't make it. So we'll see if there's more information as we go through the show, but not looking good. And again, a plane owned by former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle crashed in North Carolina. So the things I'm seeing on Twitter don't look good, but nothing has been confirmed yet.
Who was Alan Kulwicki was one. I remember that he was signing autographs at a Hooters in Knoxville and was flying to Bristol for a race. God, it must have been the early 90s, mid 90s, and his plane crashed too as well. It just seems like it's just with NASCAR and their planes. Man,
93 was a tough year because you had, I think Kulwicki was first. You had Alan Kulwicki crash in Bristol and die, the defending champion, and then Davey Allison in a helicopter in Talladega that July. So you lost both drivers that year. I'll never forget at Atlanta at the end of the season, Del Senior won the championship. Rusty Wallace won the race, and they both did the Polish victory lap that Kulwicki made famous, going around backwards with the window to the fans. And one had a 28, one had a 7 flag, and it was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, again, nothing confirmed, but it's not looking good.
What wasn't there another one with Rick Hendrick or Richard Childress?
Rick Hendrick's plane crashed with his brother. This was in Martinsville in, I believe, 2004, 2005. The engine builder, his brother, I think it was Rick's brother, Rick's son, Ricky Hendrick was on it. A bunch of people. So yeah, look, you never know. You never know where you're going to go.
You're exactly right about that. You never, ever know what's going to happen. So, yeah, man, that's
2004.
2004.
Yeah, and it was, let's see, it was John Hendrick, his twin daughters, Ricky Hendrick, Kimberly and Jennifer Hendrick, Jeff Turner was the GM, Randy Dorton, the engine builder, the pilots, Richard Tracy and Elizabeth Morrison. Other passengers included Joe Jackson, an executive with DuPont, and Scott Latham, who was Tony Stewart's pilot.
Holy cow.
So
I just remember that plane. I don't remember who was on the plane, but my goodness.
Well, and you may remember this a few years ago at Bristol. Dale Jr.'s plane went down, had to make a crash landing. Now, luckily, they were able to walk away, but it was a scary situation. It was him and his wife and I think just one daughter at the time, and the dog. But so yeah, you hate it. You obviously hate news like that this close to Christmas, especially.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. Anything else happens or more news, we'll let you know going forward. Yeah. I hope there's no more news of that going forward today. That's too much for a year, nonetheless, one day.
Yes. So the show goes on.
Show goes on, pal.
We're gonna try and have fun and make you laugh. So with that, what is our question of the day?
All right, our question today is Dr. Crane. We have a brand new. We love this. We have somebody joined the Cromwell 102.5 The Game family next year. It's an exotic vet, Matt Haley, his veterinarian practice. So Dr. Crane and I spent the morning at his practice playing operative word with monkeys and a cockatoo. Watch your mouth. What else? A kangaroo. What else we have, Dr. Crane?
There were a few dogs, a snake.
There you go.
There was a lot.
So our question today is, I am terrified of snakes.
Yeah, me too.
Terrified. I want to know what your greatest fear is when it comes to an animal, something like that. Is it a snake? What is it? Or are you just terrified of snakes like I am? If you're not terrified of snakes, tell me why you're not terrified of snakes. Because I interviewed the doctor 15 feet away when he was holding a snake. I am that scared of snakes. Thanks to my mother for instilling the fear of snakes in me. By the way, the snake throughout history has had the worst PR team. Do you know this?
No.
I mean, it's in the Bible, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Snakes had the worst PR of all time, but I was 10 feet away. So our question today is, are you or are you not afraid of snakes? And I'm curious to know why you're not or why you are.
Indiana Jones, you know that whole thing. He's afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
Could you have filmed that scene?
No.
Now, you know there's plexiglass all around there.
Sure.
That showed the making of that.
Yeah, but no.
I mean, I would not be in the vicinity of a cobra and 500 snakes. Now, Dr. Crane didn't care, right? Dr. Crane, are you scared of snakes?
I mean, to a certain degree, but those were harmless, Joe. I mean, come on, man.
Really? You
Yeah.
talk to it?
Yeah, I was standing right behind him, remember?
Yeah. What'd you
Don't
tell
forget about the
snake?
squirrel either.
Squirrel
There
bit
was
me.
a squirrel?
It bit me.
Good.
That's not good.
At least it didn't pee on you like happened to our friend Kelly Rippon one time.
Well, it probably tried to, but I got away. But I'm just curious. This close to Christmas, we just want to know what are you or are you not terrified of snakes?
615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And our question of the day is presented by Aries Tactical. Your safety, your skill, your Aries Tactical. Check them out at ariestactical.com. We'll take your calls and texts on that. Coming up at 1, we're going to talk to Soren Petro. He does radio in Kansas City and covers the Chiefs. I went on with him for their pregame show. He's going to come on with us, talk a little more about that, including Matt Nagy, who could potentially be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans after this season. But we'll talk about that in the Titans and Chiefs matchup this week. Plus, Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, talk some hockey with him at 2 o'clock. We're live at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel on this Thursday. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
All right, guys, Big Joe here. Listen, we talk all the time on our show about anxiety and depression, 2 words that can just wreck your life if you let them. And men, sadly, most of us lead lives of quiet desperation, but it does not have to be that way. That's why we're so honored to be partnering with Unity Psychiatric Care, based right here in Middle Tennessee, to get you back on track mentally and living the life you so deserve. I tell you all the time, reaching out and talking to someone changed the course of my life. And I want the same for you. Here's all you got to do. Just go to GameNashville.com, click on the Chasing Big Joe show there. You'll see a link for Unity Psychiatric Care and start taking back your life. Look, it's private, secure, and confidential, and they have telehealth. No one has to know. I just need you to reach out, or you can call 1-888-508-8002, 1-888-508-8002. And this is also important. You may be the one who notices a loved one isn't doing well, and you could be that person to turn their life around. Again, just go to GameNashville.com, click on the Chasing Big Joe show, and all the information you need for Unity Psychiatric Care is right there. Listen, we love you guys so much, and help is just around the corner. So take back your life, and please, please know you don't have to go through any of this alone.
Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday. We're hanging out at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Joe's dressed as Santa. We even got some Christmas lights here on the table that we set up. So, we're feeling good today.
Come on down, people. We'd love to see you here today. By the way, did you see who the guest pickers are for game day? Tomorrow night, it is Oklahoma. Who would you have the guest picker for the Oklahoma Sooners? Pick one player.
Baker.
Hell no. Keep going.
Adrian Peterson.
It's a good one, but no.
Stoops.
Nope.
For Oakland, the Boz.
There you go, buddy.
All right.
The Boz is a guest picker. Who is the guest picker for Miami at Texas A&M?
Manziel.
Bingo.
Yep. That's what I would have done.
Right?
But I think for a playoff game, even though you're playing them at home sites, they should have somebody from both sides.
Okay. Over under Pavia being there.
With Manziel?
Yeah.
50-50. Yeah. I'm going to say probably not. Probably not. But I don't know. I could be wrong, but I would say no.
Okay.
He's probably in Vegas. Who knows?
I think he shows up just keep going like, hey, A&M, look at me. Here I am.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Probably
Right?
not.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So that's a good one. That's, good for I love the Boz, man. And don't come in here like, well, he didn't do anything in the pros. I don't care about that. We all in high school when he was at Oklahoma. We all wanted to be the Boz. Every single one of us wanted to be Brian Bosworth. He was that good.
Is he your favorite college player of all time?
Dale Jones.
Okay.
Linebacker at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Chris Gaines is number 2. And then Boz is number 3.
Okay.
Guys who just rip your head off and don't care on the football field.
Yeah.
And both Dale Jones and Chris Gaines were undersized linebackers, too, who just whipped ass every Saturday.
Let's go to Tim, who wants to answer our question of the day. Tim, what's up?
Hey, guys, I got to give you a little background before I tell you this. It's a story, really.
Okay.
I used to work at a grocery store on Blair Avenue back in the day when you actually you returned your Coke bottles and got your deposit back. If you remember back that far, it tells you how back far it is. All right. We had a fairly famous person that was shopping in the store, Randall Texas Bob, the boxer. And he was also in Ernest Goes to Jail, if you remember the movie. Well, he would always cutting up, picking on us. And we had a guy behind the counter that would take the Coke bottles, give them their money back. Well, Tex come in one day, and he had a sack, and he just set it down on the counter and told him he wanted his money. But the guy goes up there and reaches in there to get it, and it's an 8-foot python in there. That guy about messed his britches up and had to go home, and Tex was dying laughing. And then the rest of the time, Tex was walking around the store shopping with an 8-foot python wrapped around his neck.
Oh, my God. Didn't he live like near Centennial Park back then?
Yeah. He would shop over there with us. Tex is the one, if you remember, he got Howard Cosell out of calling boxing because he fought Frazier. And it was like 14 rounds, and he couldn't knock him out. And he took a beating, but he would not go down. Guy
What year was that?
I've ever seen. It had to be in the 70s.
That's right. And Cosell was like, I'm done calling boxing because it was the brutality was so bad.
Yes. Tex took a beating. Couldn't see out of either one of his eyes, and he just kept going, and Frazier could not knock him down. Guy was tough.
Is Tex Cobb, is he still with us?
He may be. I don't know if he's still living in Nashville or not, but he would come in and he would always look at me and he'd say, hey, white boy, and then he would just walk off. He said he got that part in Ernest Goes to Jail because he said they were looking for a dirty redneck. He said, I'm it. So
yeah, he's still alive according to the internet.
Tim, he is.
Yes.
He was 34 years old when he did Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
He looked 65 when he did Raising Arizona. He was 34 years old when he did that.
He'd been beat up in the ring, man, boxing. The guy was tough as nails. I don't know what his record was professionally, but I know the guy could take a punch.
Holy
we had
cow.
a guy in the store one day he said, I want to know what it feels like. And he let him hold 2 phone books up to his chest. And he didn't even really punch him. It was sort of like a little jab. And he about broke the guy's ribs.
All right, here it is. It's 1982. Larry Holmes texts Cobb. A disgusted Howard Cosell quit calling boxing, famously declaring it a mismatch, criticizing the referee for not stopping the fight. Holmes just kept beating on Cobb, who would not go down. Cobb called having Cosell retire was his greatest achievement in life.
That's it. I was thinking it's Frazier, but no, it was Larry Holmes. And I watched it. I remember watching it. And Tex took a beating.
My goodness. Thank you, Tim, for that.
Thanks.
That's a good walk down memory lane.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good call. Our buddy Eric has called in. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys, a couple of things. First of all, guys, actually, I heard this.
No.
I don't know if you heard this. Manziel is supposed to be on the broadcast with Golick Jr. On TNT Saturday for the Miami Texans game.
Okay.
Texans, I heard that this morning, so I figured you wanted to know that. The other thing you were talking about, animals give you fear. Well, this is actually an insect. One time, this was a long, long time ago when I was in the Boy Scouts. I was a kid. I can't remember. This was either in Chattanooga or Georgia, but I was canoeing down the river, and we had to tie the boat down. And it wasn't to tie it down. It was a huge, humongous, it looked like tarantula. It was on thing. And I said, I didn't want to get in there. I was freaking out, screaming and stuff like, I don't want to tie it down there. And they said, well, the spider's not poisonous. So I said, I don't care. It was a huge tarantula. I said, I was not tying the boat down on that thing. So I literally was freaking out. I was about, I guess, 11, 12 years old, but I have always been just afraid.
Wait, hold on. Just a tarantula in the wild? I mean, like, was it a river around here?
No. It wasn't nearby. I can't remember where. It was we were either in Chattanooga or maybe near Chattanooga, Georgia line, or somewhere in Georgia. But it was where it's going to tie it on this, I guess it's like a tree or something like that or whatever it was. But it was a huge tarantula on the tree, and I was freaking out. But they were telling me, no, it's not poisonous. I said, I don't care. It is huge. I don't want to be near that because it freaked me out.
No, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, it's a tarantula. Don't worry about it. I'm not letting that thing crawl on me.
No.
I don't know.
Me either. Yeah.
I don't care how friendly it is.
Guys, y'all take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
Big man.
Tom Pelissero just put out that the Jets have signed quarterback Hendon Hooker to the practice squad.
So he goes from the Lions to the Panthers to the Jets.
Yep.
Okay. Well, good for him.
Yeah. He should have gone to like the Jaguars just to stay with cats, but you know.
Isn't he like 27?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So good. You know what? Like our boy Tim Hasselbeck said,
you keep going until nobody wants you anymore.
Right? All 32 teams say we're good. Keep staying in the NFL and getting paid. I mean, you make a nice living on that practice squad, and who knows, you might get an opportunity, especially with the awful Jets. God, they have not been to the playoffs since 2009. And I think they went to the AFC Championship game that year and got beat by the Colts.
Yes, probably.
That's the last time Rex Ryan was there. That's the last time they were in the playoffs. So you think about how bad it is to be a Titans fan. Think about how bad it is to be a Jets fan.
Coming up next, Titans defensive coordinator Denard Wilson had some strong comments in response to one of his players saying, quote, "We don't make adjustments," end quote. We'll discuss that coming up next and see what you all think. It's Chasing Big Joe live from Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 102.5 The Game.
We gotta adjust. Shit, we don't adjust enough over here. We don't adjust. That's what it is. We don't adjust.
In what way? Like, you mean X and O's?
X and O's. We don't adjust.
So are you saying like that's something that the coaches need to do better, or are you saying
we all need to do better on that?
We adjust all the time. Sometimes you look at it in the second half. I mean, what other adjustments do we need? We lost a one-on-one ball in man coverage, and we missed a tackle, and we didn't hinge on cover two. I don't know what else adjustments that we needed. At this point, everybody has an opinion, about everything. Everybody needs to stay in their lane and focus on what they need to focus on.
That was Arden Key, followed by defensive coordinator Denard Wilson. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday. So Arden Key says they don't adjust. Denard Wilson says we do adjust, and basically tells Arden Key to stay in his lane.
Did not Arden Key say the same thing with Mike Vrabel?
He sure did. It's not the
Shane
first.
Bowen?
It's not the first time that he has said something like that.
Yeah. So I whatever Arden Key says, I take it with a grain of salt. I think he's not a very good player and a big mouth. So yeah, I hope they run him after practice today or something like that. I mean, don't adjust. Yeah, and that just look again. That makes the organization look terrible. You got infighting between players and a coach.
Right, and that's not good. But, I mean, I think what it said, I would say right now that neither one of those guys are going to be back next year, but I would say Denard Wilson has a better chance than Arden Key.
Yeah, all right. And so, all right, so if you're Denard Wilson, you got to play. So if you're another team, like looking at Denard Wilson, maybe next year I'll look at him, and you got a player said, we don't adjust. Now Denard Wilson's got to defend that.
Right, yeah. But, I mean, look, I'm all about a player having a voice and, being a little outspoken, and even if it is against a coach. But there's a time and a place, and there's a way to do it. And that was what Mike McCoy said yesterday of like, I get being frustrated. You can be frustrated, but there's a better way to go about that, because now what you've done is you've created awkwardness.
Yep. With
your coach,
every bit of that,
and with probably some of the other guys too that are going to be like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, don't call coach out like that.
Right.
The players don't want the coaches to call them out publicly. Why should they call the coaches out publicly? And he was trying not to, but he did.
Yeah. But and so now it's like, well, there you go. So if you just hear one side of this with Arden Key, it's like, well, there's a problem. This coaching staff is terrible. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Then you hear Denard Wilson's got to defend himself.
Right.
Like, yeah, we're making adjustments. So I would go to Arden Key and say, hey, pal, what are you talking about? And then have something to go with him and say, we're making adjustments. You know where we are. Go apologize and do that. It's just, why now? I mean, you're 2-12. Why now? They make adjustments. They're just not good. And it starts with Arden Key, man.
615-737-1025. What do you think about both Key's comments and Denard Wilson with his comments? Skylar says, Arden Key blinking sucks. He's our starting edge rusher. He's not an NFL starting edge rusher. He's a rotational piece at best. I don't know why Key thinks he has the right to talk. LOL.
I love that. Exactly. Good point.
I would agree. Lenny says it doesn't matter what Denard thinks. He's not going to be here next year.
50-50. Here we go.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, probably not, but it will be interesting. I think if your name is Bones Fossil, you're probably got a good chance of being here next year. But if not, then yeah, I would say whoever the new coach is going to bring in his own people.
I mean, yeah, he's probably got the best shot, but I mean, these coaching staffs always bring in their buddies, their friends, those they're comfortable with. So I don't think anybody's guaranteed a spot coming back next year in 26. So, but you know what? We'll have 3 weeks. They'll have that new coach in here. Yeah, so they won't wait long. The last game is that first Saturday or the first weekend in January. Then there's that Black Monday, and then they'll start hiring coaches left and right. So I think they'll have their guy within a week of that.
Well, it also makes me think. I mean, the two guys that I think are the front runners are Mike McCarthy, who was on McAfee this morning. He's not working anywhere. So, and then Matt Nagy, whose team is going to be done the same time as the Titans.
That's right. Be here this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if those two turn it down, oh boy. Maybe Art Smith comes here. Maybe Art Smith likes living in Pittsburgh and being an offensive coordinator and doesn't want to work for this organization, which is completely dysfunctional. And then you start getting to the second tier guys. It's like, oh man. And who knows? I heard that Robbie had Rex wrote list this morning. Robbie had the list. Vegas had Titans odds for next coaches. And number 2 is Cliff Kingsbury.
Interesting. Yeah, I say no. These were the offensive assistants, or these were the assistant coaches for Matt Nagy with the Bears, his final year there. Bill Lazor was the offensive coordinator. I'm not really familiar with him. John DeFilippo was pass game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. I am familiar with him.
Yep.
He's a well-respected coach. Running backs, Michael Petro. Mike Fury was wide receivers. Chris Jackson was assistant wide receivers. Clancy Barone, tight ends. Juan Castillo, offensive line. And nobody else really. Tom Herman was a offensive analyst.
Oh, nice. Tom.
He was the Texas coach? Yeah.
Yeah. He's at where FAU now?
Yeah, that seems right. Defensively, Sean Desai? Desai? I don't know. I don't know him. He's with the Bengals right now. He was the DC. Chris Rumpf was defensive line.
Rump shaker.
Bill Shuey was linebacker.
Shuey?
Yeah. Shuey.
Oh, what a last name, Shuey.
Bill McGovern was inside linebackers. Deshae Townsend was secondary. He was here, right? At one time.
I know he played at Alabama, but I don't.
He was the DB's coach with the Titans, 16 to 17. So that was
nice.
Malarkey. Right?
Malarkey, okay.
Yeah. Thought I recognized that name. Mike Adams, assistant defensive back. He's with the Giants now. He was in the league for a while, from 04 to 19, so a long while. Played with the 49ers, the Browns, the Broncos, the Colts, the Panthers, the Texans. There's Mr. Rodamel. Mike Pettin, who was a coach.
Mike Pettin. Oh, man, that guy. What's he doing now?
He is now with the Minnesota Vikings as the assistant head coach and outside linebackers coach.
Okay. Well, I mean, you'll have look, that was your first that's the staff. You're like, hey, when I get a job, I'm going to hire you. This next staff is like, all right, I need guys who need to come in and challenge me left and right, and what's going to happen there. So
Chris Tabor was the special teams coordinator. He's with the Bills in the same capacity.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's your staff.
Yeah. So there's some, maybe some names if it is Matt Nagy.
Wonder why Vegas is popping out Cliff Kingsbury.
I don't know. It seems like a dumb thing they would do.
Right? And then like Clint Kubiak's on that list too. I mean, don't hire another coordinator. Don't do that. Guys got promise.
You know what the definition of insanity is? Keep doing the same thing, hoping for a different result.
Amen. And that's exactly what they're doing there. So don't do that.
I know Cliff Kingsbury falls into this category, but I want a former head.
Right.
And whether it's McCarthy or Nagy or Art Smith or Robert Saleh, like give me one of those guys.
You know what John Rambo wants?
What?
John Rambo wants what he wants, what they want, what every guy who fought for this country wants. For our country to love us as much as we love it. How do we live, John? Day by day. That's the end of Rambo 2.
I am not going to read this from Wes and Hermitage, but it did make me laugh.
Is it Wes is writing about what he's afraid of?
Jason Big Joe, you don't even owe me a thank you for this, but I did something cool. I've made a small list of celebrities that either hate snakes or will not be near them.
Okay.
And when you look at the list, you'll understand what he's trying to do.
All right. I can't read that far. Are you scared of ghosts?
No.
I
believe in ghosts, but I'm not scared
so
of them.
do I.
Yeah. I think they're ghosts.
So, if you got visited by a ghost, what would you do?
What's up, ghost?
What if it didn't say anything? It just kind of hovered. I told you this before.
Get some spray.
I told you, if you see, Dr. Crane, you can weigh on this. If you see, our question today is, what animal? Are you deathly afraid of snakes? Yes or no? I'm deathly afraid of snakes. I won't go near snakes. It's not that I don't like them. We have an understanding to stay away from each other. So that's our question today. Are you afraid of snakes? But here's the deal with a ghost, right? If a ghost is like hovering in your house, attack it. He's not expecting you to come after him. But we've talked about this.
I can't hit him. My fist will go through him.
In his mind, he's thinking, all right, this is some guy that's not going to let me have my way. I need to get out of here. So just attack him.
Okay.
Go right at him. They're not
But what if he's nice? What if he or she is nice?
What if he's not?
Well,
if they're just hovering there staring at you, then they're weird.
Yeah.
And you go at him and knock him down.
Like someone watching you get dressed in a roundabout way. That's weird, man.
Right? And you're like, what are you doing?
Get your holy water out, put it on the walls, call it a day.
On the walls?
Yeah, you spray it onto the walls. Like you get your hand, you splash a little holy water on each part of the wall, and then that somewhat wards off bad evil. If that is bad evil ghost, then you grab your rosary, say a few Hail Marys, a couple Our Fathers, and you're good to go.
Okay. Question. I'm not Catholic. How do I get holy water?
You find a priest, and he
All
will.
right, 2 a.m.
Yeah, he'll assist you with that. Find your nearest church.
Is there somebody going to be at the Catholic Church at 2 a.m. for me to get holy water?
If the Lord's there, someone's there.
Okay. Get it, come back, and throw it at the ghost or on the wall?
No, you just not sporadically, but just toss it around.
Spray it.
Yeah.
It's a spray bottle.
I mean, they do have spray bottles of holy water, but no, it's like it's a holy water. Yeah, it's like a holy water plastic little compartment that looks like the Blessed Mother. You can take off the top of it, and then you just spray it, just dab it onto your hands and your fingers, and you just flick it at the walls, and then you just say a couple Hail Marys and Our Fathers as you're doing it. And, I think there's a prayer out there where you can, ward off bad evil while you're, doing this to your house. So it's just,
let me ask you this. What if Chase comes in with holy water and sprays it on me? What happens to me?
You just have to make the sign of the cross and you're good.
So is that a good thing that Chase is spraying me with holy water?
Yeah, it's never a bad thing.
Okay. All right.
If you go to Lourdes, France, they have this holy water, not sanctuary, but it's like on the side of a mountain. And they've had people numerous of times that have like tumors or something, and they go lay in the holy water, and it's like miracle water. Like they don't have like the tumors, and they don't, if they like have a broken leg or something, it can cure that in some capacity.
A broken leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to look it up. There are documentaries on it. Lourdes, France. It's like the holy water. Yep.
Wouldn't this be this is what, like we talked today about a leap of faith, right?
Yeah.
To go lay there and get your leg healed.
I'm telling you, it's a special place. They do like church masses on the side of the mountain, like 4 to 5 times a day in 6 different languages. It's just fascinating.
Love it. All right, I'm look it up.
All this talk about holy water, and the first thing I thought about was the Simpsons episode where Santa's little helper escapes and he goes to the church and he's drinking the holy water.
Oh, what year was that?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. All right. Well, maybe we should. No, I was going to say maybe we should spray some. What? Look, can we spray holy water at the Titan facility? Get the bad juju out of there.
I'm sure if Amy Adams says okay, then yeah, why not?
Okay. I mean, there's been
other need to ask her.
Other team just show up. Hey, Mike McCoy, real quick, and just spray it on him and say, look, man, we got to get the bad juju out of here and turn this team around.
Look, it's not like a New Orleans voodoo type thing. It's, it's holy water. Like, I think if you bring in some form of a pastor or a deacon of some form or fashion, say a rosary and call it a day. I think that's what would really help out the Titans in all capacity. It would just kind of soothe the mind, open up, any negative energy, and it'll get it out of there.
I mean, there are fan bases who have done this throughout. I know, I think Bills fans have done it before. Packers fans, they do it because they want to get the bad juju out of there. I understand all that.
All right. Am I allowed to go to break now, or
Do whatever you
guys
want,
want to? Okay. We're live today. I was just letting you two go.
I'm just
We're
curious.
live today at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines, chasing Big Joe 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday. Hanging out here at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel. An update from what we told you earlier that there was a plane crash in North Carolina, Statesville Regional Airport, that was owned by former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle. It is unfortunately looking like that Greg, his wife, and kids were on the plane. Unconfirmed reports, but there are some people that are close with them that are now coming out and saying it. So,
Terrible.
Greg, his wife Tina, daughter Emma, and son Ryder being reported to be on the plane.
Oh man.
We will wait for confirmation and more updates on that, but very, very sad news out of North Carolina. And Greg, I think I have this right. I believe Greg won the first NASCAR Craftsman truck race at the Nashville Super Speedway.
Really?
I believe that is correct.
2000?
2001.
2001.
I'll confirm that, but I believe that is correct. So really sad news there, but we'll keep you updated on that.
All right, Chaser, we got the this came out today. All right, with Tua being benched, they owe Tua. He's getting paid $53 million a year. So Tua Tagovailoa, I've never once pronounced his last name correctly. So how about this? Tua is $53 million. These are the highest paid healthy non-starting quarterbacks in the National Football League. All right, 2 of 53 million. Who is second? The highest paid healthy non-starting quarterback. Who is second?
And it was a Busch Series race, but I was right.
Okay.
The highest paid or the second highest paid non-starting quarterback.
Healthy. I'll give you a clue. He played football at NC State.
Russell Wilson.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
They transferred to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Number 3, this guy makes $7 million a year. He's 3-0 this year as a starting quarterback. He has been benched because the starter came back, but he's getting paid $7 million.
He's been benched. Mac Jones.
No, sir.
Okay.
His name sounds like someplace you'd go get your family portrait made.
Texans. What is his name? Ola Mills is what you're referring to, right?
Right.
Davis Mills.
There, good job, buddy. Talk through it. Number 4, the highest paid healthy non-starting quarterback in the National Football League. This guy played at Auburn.
This guy played at Auburn.
He backs up Bo Nix with the Denver Broncos.
Who also played at Auburn.
$6 million a year. He was a Patriot at one time, and Bill Belichick said he's the guy.
Oh. No.
$6 million.
Belichick said he was the guy.
Started for a little bit after Brady. When Mac Jones ran afoul of Belichick, he had this guy.
Well, he had Cam Newton for a while.
Not him.
But who was the other one?
One Jarrett Stidham.
I forgot all about him.
Number 5, highest paid healthy non-starting quarterback in the National Football League. Here's your clue. Keep your mama away from him.
The Jets drafted him.
Come on now.
Hang on. Oh, crap. What is his name?
Remember, we said if you play for the Titans, you'd be hanging out in 12 South.
Yeah.
Over at the boundary.
I know who he is.
Rio Bravo.
Zach Wilson.
Attaboy, yeah. Chaser. That's it. So Tua gets $53 million. He's benched on the same team. Zach Wilson, $6 million.
Well, there's another guy that would be on that list if the starting quarterback was healthy, and that would have been Kirk Cousins. Because Kirk Cousins was signed as a starter, and then they go to penalties.
He should be on this.
Yeah, but he's starting right now.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one.
Right, all that. But the Dolphins are paying out nearly $60 million to 2 guys to sit on the bench. So next time an NFL team complains about funds and revenue, know that this is happening. $60 million, 2 guys sitting. Now they go to Quinn Ewers, a 7th-round draft choice, and has the opportunity to solidify that job, and it's crazy. And I think the dead money on Tua, if they let him go, is astronomical. So that's what you got to deal with all this.
615-737-1025. Yes, we, by the way, on our text line, 4819, we did talk about Sheila Crisp, who passed away. So thank you for texting, and we did talk about that at the start of the show. So thinking about Terry and his family through all of this. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, we'll talk more about the Chiefs. Soren Petro is a radio host in Kansas City. He will join us next here on 102.5 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday. We're live at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Hope you're having a wonderful day to this point. Now we go and talk to one of my buddies. I go on his show quite a bit, and he is the host of the program on Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City. Soren Petro joins us now. Soren, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I just wish that, for my walk-up music, I could have had Sabotage if we're going to go Beastie Boys.
Okay. All right. I like it. Certainly a good one. You were just at the press conferences with the Chiefs. What is life like post-Patrick Mahomes after he tears his ACL and will miss the remainder of the season, seeing 9 months basically of recovery?
When you go to the meal after a funeral, and, we're aware that, the loved one, the friend, the pal, the associate has passed. And, people are kind of starting to move on. But, then somebody will make a joke. And then you're like, oh, should I be laughing here? Because, we're all wearing black. Kind of like that, yeah, let's see what kind of eats and treats we got here moving forward. But we don't feel great. And we know we're not supposed to be smiling, certainly when the family comes in. So as the coaches come in, everybody has to be like, oh, today was assistant coaches day where they bring even beyond the coordinators. It's coordinator day with the assistants. They do that once a month begrudgingly and bring them out. And so, it was kind of an awkward situation because it's been 10 years since the Chiefs weren't in the playoffs.
I know. And that's what's crazy to think about of just this run they have been on. And look, the other thing is not only is he hurt, but I think better than anybody, they have some holes they got to fill. I mean, these are things that I think they've been able to try and get away with for as long as they could. They've won Super Bowls. They haven't had the strongest roster at times. So now what is this offseason going to look like for, that staff and that front office group of trying to not only get Patrick healthy, but also get him some weapons and build around him again?
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you say that because you're absolutely right. And it's a thing that the, Chiefs fans have a hard time getting their arms around, even when they're winning, because when you start carrying that heavy quarterback contract, and the Chiefs have chosen to pay a number of other people too, highest paid center in the league, highest paid guard in the league. Chris Jones, I think, is maybe still the highest paid defensive tackle in the league. If not, he's one of them. Nick Bolton, one of the highest paid middle linebackers in the league. You start handing out all those contracts, and it gets tough to put everything else around them. And you lean more and more and more on 15 to get it done. And I think that's what's happened over this time. The roster is never going to be complete. Hopefully for Titan fans, Cam Ward is going to be a superstar, and, your best chance to win is in those first 5, sometimes 6 years with the way they backload deals, before the quarterback gets expensive. But once he gets expensive, the roster will never be complete. It's always going to be about minimizing your weaknesses, maximizing your strengths. And the Chiefs have done a great job of that. Fans don't want to hear that, though. They want to bitch and complain about, why aren't your receivers the best in football? Why don't you have a great edge rusher? How come you haven't found a left tackle? And the reality is a lot of those positions aren't available after about pick 15 or 16, except for the rare diamond in the rough. And so the Chiefs have been dealing with the fact that you can't get those premium players at those premium positions and kind of taping over it. And it finally all came together. It all finally came to a head this year. And so you are right. They have more holes to fill. I think, they want to admit, and that's why a lot of people tell you, oh, just lose these last 3 games, get higher in the draft. And so I don't think they're going to do that, but I do think you'll see an influx of as many of the young guys as they can realistically put out on the field.
We're talking to Soren Petro, Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City.
Could you imagine if a football team came out and said, hey, for the next 3 games, we're going to lose?
No. I mean, right? I couldn't, and they can't. The coaches can't, and that's why. Look, I'm a firm believer in tanking, and anyone who doesn't understand resource allocation, resource management. But you don't tank at the coach level; you tank at the general manager and ownership level. You just strip the roster down to where it can't win. The coaches have to go out and do everything they can to win with the players that they have. Now, I do think, playing a veteran who's not going to be on your roster next year over a first-year player that's gaining experience, that's ridiculous. I mean, those orders need to be given. But no player, no coach is going to scheme down or not give a full effort, and you have to accept it. Anyone who could have surgery that could be put off for 3 weeks, you go ahead and get them the surgery now, and they're out. You make those decisions that are not, not outright, just trying to lose while you're on the field. You just take the talent off the field for legitimate reasons.
I saw the injury report yesterday for the Chiefs. There's like 45 guys on that thing. I mean, there's a lot of guys on their injury report. I mean, they're going to bring like maybe 30 to Nashville on Sunday. I kid, but my goodness, I mean, this is going to be a Chiefs team coming here that's depleted.
Yeah, Chiefs Hall of Fame center Tim Grunhard comes on with me each week, and we were talking about how many guys went down in the game and then came back in, right? Like, that's not what NFL players want to do. Like, it's kind of a badge of honor. You don't lay on the ground. And you had multiple guys that were down a couple of times. They'd go out, they'd come back in. That's the old question. Are you injured or are you hurt, right? What's going on? If you're hurting, get up, let's go. We got to play. But when there's nothing to play for and you feel the season slipping away, it gets harder to fight through it. The pain just seems to be more painful. And I think you've seen that with the Chiefs. So I think everybody's banged up now. I think the gamesmanship of acting like we're 100%, everybody's healthy has gone away. They're not trying to do that. They're being a little bit more, I don't think they ever, are completely lie about the injury report. But if you're bruised up, might as well throw the guy on there, because I think they are giving guys more time off. There were more did not practices than there would have been in a week that they were still contending. And so I think that does mean that they will come in a little bit less prepared in this game, because they're doing everything they can to make sure guys are healthy, and certainly not urging anybody to push through something that is a real problem.
Look, I like Gardner Minshew. I think he's a great backup. I also think he could be a body double for Morgan Wallen. They look exactly alike. if he goes down, who goes in? You, Andy Reid? Who's the backup?
They will elevate a kid named Chris Oladokun, and he has been within the organization for like the last 3 years. He's on the practice squad. He's gone through training camp. He knows the offense. He is, if he would get in there, he is much more of a scrambling type quarterback. He's a guy that's going to use his legs and do those kind of things. He has an arm. He came from a small school, but they have, like I said, they keep bringing him back year after year. So they think there's something there. And, we've been asking Andy Reid, would you try to get some snaps for Chris Oladokun? Because we haven't seen him play in a regular season game. And he said, it's Gardner Minshew's time. Gardner Minshew will play. But I wouldn't be completely shocked. We also heard Andy Reid on Monday, after the Chiefs had said, well, Patrick Mahomes has an ACL injury. We said, okay, just ACL. There's nothing else. He said, we put out ACL. We're not trying to hide anything. And 6 hours later, they admit that there was LCL damage as well. So, I don't call it lying. I don't really understand the reason for that, but coaches don't always tell the truth. Let's put it that way. So if Chris Oladokun got in, I wouldn't be completely stunned, but at least what Andy said this week was it would be Gardner Minshew as long as he can go.
Is this the swan song, these next three for Travis Kelce?
I think so. I mean, I if he wants to play, look, I don't think the Chiefs want to see him play in another uniform. I don't think Kelce wants to play in another uniform. But I also don't think you can justify, even though he bounced back and is better this year than he was last year, because I think he put a lot more into the offseason, which I don't – look, you found the love of your life and had a chance to travel all over the world 2 off seasons ago. More power to you. There is more to life than football. Trust me. I get it. But he put more into it. He's better this year. But he's certainly going through all the actions that would make you think that it's over. The Chiefs cannot justify paying him $18 million a year. If he wants to come back for $5 million, which I don't think he wants to, not when he's getting $10 million a year to do a podcast, I don't see that happening. And he likes the limelight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, he Hollywooded in front of his locker wearing the uniform a couple of weeks ago, sitting there for 15 minutes, and then when it came time to talk, said, "See you guys," which I don't really appreciate. I think that's Bush League, but he's made it clear that everybody see how thoughtful I am, how introspective I am, how I'm soaking this all in. He's certainly playing it up like it's his final go-round.
Soren Petro is with us, 810 WHB, host of the program, 2 to 6 in the afternoon. So Matt Nagy is somebody that, I kind of started thinking about after I went on your show earlier this year after the Titans and made a coaching change. He obviously has the connection with Mike Borgonzi, who is with the Chiefs. What can you tell us about him if he were to become the next head coach of the Titans, and why a second go at being a head coach could be beneficial?
I think I'll say this: like, there's no doubt that this year has hurt his candidacy, right? Like they're not playing at as high a level. They've had some offensive issues, but I think to go back to what you said earlier, the defense of this year is that They have been picking very low, and their number one, their highest drafted wide receiver, Xavier Worthy, who is very fast, but he weighs 160 pounds. I mean, we see the limitations of what that means. Rashee Rice was suspended for 6 games this year. Their running backs are a 7th-round pick and a guy that nobody wanted on their roster when they started the season in 2024. Their offensive line has taken on all kinds of injuries. They were on their, I think, their 4th and 5th tackles last week and almost beat the Chargers. They were on a backup guard as well. So they have dealt with a lot of adversity. So I would not look at this year and be like, why are we hiring this guy? I would look at the overall body of work. I would look that he knows the Andy Reid plan. I think Andy Reid's underrated brilliance is his calendar from the day the season ends to the day the next season starts. I think he is fantastic in that stretch. Matt Nagy has that. And I think if you go back and look at his tenure with the Bears, you'll see a guy who went to the playoffs twice with Mitch Trubisky. I mean, he was given Mitch Trubisky. And I think early on people wanted to say, well, he had a highly drafted quarterback and he couldn't do a lot with him, except for Mitch Trubisky has done literally nothing since then. And Matt Nagy took a pedestrian quarterback into the playoffs. And so that to me is the real measure. Andy Reid's greatness, people are going to talk about everything he did here in Kansas City and with Patrick Mahomes. But really the measure of his greatness is look at what Andy Reid did when he didn't have a Hall of Fame quarterback. And look at what Bill Belichick did when he didn't have a Hall of Fame quarterback. Donovan McNabb was good, but he was not great. And at 32 years old, when he went to play for Mike Shanahan and then to the Vikings, he did absolutely nothing. He went to the playoffs with a refurbished Michael Vick. He went to the playoffs with Jeff Garcia. He has done it with quarterbacks that aren't superstars. He took Alex Smith, who, let me tell you, is the most painful 2-minute quarterback I've ever seen in my life. But he took him to the playoffs year after year after year. And Matt Nagy has all of that knowledge within him and how to coach a quarterback. So if Cam Ward's a superstar and he can be most of what Andy Reid is, then you'll be a championship team. If Cam Ward is Alex Smith, then I think you'll be a playoff team. It all ultimately is going to come down to getting it right at the quarterback position. And this guy knows what it is to coach a quarterback, knows how to develop a quarterback. And I think he also knows how to say, like, we can get better and not be afraid to move on from a quarterback, because he was in Kansas City when they did that with Alex Smith. So, his resume is very good. It won't be sexy. People will be upset. But going and getting a guy who's been the hot coordinator for a team that's got 11 Pro Bowlers has not usually worked. Guys, you're going to have to come in and coach a roster that is in development. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking for a new coach. And I think Matt Nagy has that experience.
Does Steve Spagnuolo get another crack at it, or has everybody pretty much accepted he's just a really, really, really good defensive coordinator?
He may just be that, but he certainly deserves another crack at it. His time with the Rams, he had Sam Bradford with the organization, and that was when the rookie quarterbacks were making the most money in the NFL. So he had a bad cap situation because he had a quarterback that was always hurt and didn't get to play with him. And it bottomed out, and I think the Rams were a dysfunctional organization at that time, and it ultimately bottomed out. But he, too, will bring that Andy Reid calendar. He is a brilliant defensive coach. I can tell you that his schemes and his ability to mold towards his talent is excellent. He should be a coach, but the fact that he's in his 60s and doesn't have the greatest first go-round is going to mean that he's going to have to be somebody that they double back on. Like, okay, we waited for the hot young offensive coordinator. We didn't get him. We didn't get the second hot young coordinator. All right, who can we get that's just a good football coach? And I think a team will come around. I don't see him getting a job unless 7-8 jobs are open, because I don't think he's going to be anybody's 1, 2, or 3. And I think that's unfortunate, because I think his resume is without reproach.
Let me ask you this about coaches. For a long time here, we covered Jeff Fisher in Nashville. Once he stopped being a coach, he's become a friend of ours, and he's a funny dude, right? You never saw that side of him as a coach. Did you have any idea Andy Reid was that funny? I mean, these commercials that he did with Mahomes, you see the side of Andy Reid that nobody, I think, has ever seen outside of probably that bubble. Did you have any idea he was that funny and that likable?
Yes, because of the way people talk about him, and how much, they appreciate him as a person. Like, everyone that's been around him in the organization, they talk about the things, Andy did this for me and Andy did that. So you knew he was a caring person. He's an intelligent guy. He's always willing to poke fun at his weight. So he has a sense of humor. He'll talk about, eating cheeseburgers and that kind of things. I was really surprised when he did the commercials because I always thought that he would be like, he's so all about business. And
Right.
I was surprised when, I don't think he wants his players doing a ton of side stuff. So when he was doing that, I'm like, wow, this is really stepping out. But I can tell you, I've also seen a side of Andy. So I think people have learned that the side of Andy that I don't think people have seen is the side that's definitely serious. I mean, I had, and the more success he's had, the less access we get. But I used to get 30 minutes with him at the end of the season and at the beginning of the season before it started. And there were times where, he will give you a death stare. You ask him a question, he doesn't necessarily like where it's going, and he will flat out lean into you, stare at you, and tell you, this is how it is. And that's the part that was always shocking to me because he is affable. He is kind of grandfatherly the way he looks up there, but he is definitely serious, and he is not a man to be taken lightly at any time.
Was it fun, all the Taylor Swift craziness 2 years ago?
Fantastic. I mean, how could you not enjoy, having a circus going on while you're playing football at the highest level? It was amazing to have security details, not just guarding the field, but guarding, the entryway, and people telling you about, oh, I was trying to walk to my seats, and all of a sudden, 10 cops, walled us off to where we couldn't cut across, and here comes Taylor Swift walking by. I mean, the fans loved it. They loved sitting down there watching her walk out of the tunnel where the players come in, or drive in on a golf cart, get a picture, snap a shot, seeing her up in the press box. Look, the Chiefs were already becoming rock star status. They'd already won a championship before she came to town, but it made them, a global centerpiece. And yeah, it was really cool. It was a fun era. It'll be missed, right? It's probably run its course. It's probably the right time, right? If you're the last guy to leave the party, you stayed too long. But if you leave the party while it's still kind of rocking, you have great memories. I think that's how, if Travis Kelce steps away, the Taylor Swift time will be remembered. The party, they left. That's when the peak of the party ended, but they left at just the right time.
Love it, man.
Very good stuff, Soren. Appreciate the time as always, and we'll see what happens this weekend between the Chiefs and the Titans.
Chase, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Best of luck to the Titans with the rebuild.
Thank you very much. Soren Petro joining us here on the program, host of the program on 810 WHB in Kansas City, 2 to 6. Does a great job there. And I always enjoy appearing on the 2-minute drill, which he has. We'll react to some of that and more. Coming up next, Chase and Big Joe live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines on 102.5 The Game.
underrated brilliance is his calendar from the day the season ends to the day the next season starts. I think he is fantastic in that stretch. Matt Nagy has that. And I think if you go back and look at his tenure with the Bears, you'll see a guy who went to the playoffs twice with Mitch Trubisky. I mean, he was given Mitch Trubisky. And I think early on people wanted to say, well, he had a highly drafted quarterback and he couldn't do a lot with him, except for Mitch Trubisky has done literally nothing since then. And Matt Nagy took a pedestrian quarterback into the playoffs. And so that to me is the real measure. You know, Andy Reid's greatness, people are going to talk about everything he did here in Kansas City and with Patrick Mahomes. But really the measure of his greatness is look at what Andy Reid did when he didn't have a Hall of Fame quarterback, and look at what Bill Belichick did when he didn't have a Hall of Fame quarterback. Donovan McNabb was good, but he was not great. And at 32 years old, when he went to play for Mike Shanahan and then to the Vikings, he did absolutely nothing. He went to the playoffs with a refurbished Michael Vick. He went to the playoffs with Jeff Garcia. He has done it with quarterbacks that aren't superstars. He took Alex Smith, who, let me tell you, is the most painful 2-minute quarterback I've ever seen in my life. But he took him to the playoffs year after year after year. And Matt Nagy has all of that knowledge within him and how to coach a quarterback. So if Cam Ward's a superstar and he can be most of what Andy Reid is, then you'll be a championship team.
That was Soren Petro from 810 WHB just a few minutes ago. Chasing Big Joe on this Thursday afternoon, 102.5 The Game at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Barlines. And look, a ringing endorsement, a guy that has covered him for a long time. You know, now on the flip side, I've asked a few people that, you know, we know in Chicago to talk about Matt Nagy, and it's not as much of a ringing endorsement because of his time there. But I do think you have to look at what he referenced. He did get Mitch Trubisky to the playoffs. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, what did Hasselbeck do? Hasselbeck was unimpressed by that. Let me ask you this, Chase. Upon returning to Kansas City after the Bears' tenure, Matt Nagy did not regain play calling duties upon returning to Kansas City, which Andy Reid controls.
Yeah.
Does that matter? I mean, look, I know he's a head coach.
He's called plays.
But he hasn't called plays since what? Who was his play caller in Chicago, right? He had a coordinator there.
Well, I think he was a play caller.
So it's been a while. So we give him the same chagrin that we gave Brian Callahan. It's been a while.
But he's done it. Like, that was your whole problem with Callahan. He had never done it.
He had never called a play in a game.
So it was just like, okay. So I don't know. And look, I think I've gotten myself to the point where, like, if it's McCarthy, which I wasn't a huge fan of at first, but he does develop quarterbacks. I mean, he made Dak Prescott better, I think.
Sure.
So if it's him, if it's Nagy, if it's Art, if it's Saleh, I think I'll be on board with any of that.
Would you be surprised if Mike McCarthy says, you know what, I'm good?
No. But, I mean, look at some of the other jobs that are going to be, you know, available. You know, that's the thing. A guy like him, because he has something the other guys don't as a head coach.
That's right.
Super Bowl.
Bingo.
So that gives you cachet to kind of pick your spot. So, I mean, all right, let's see. The jobs that they either are open or we think are going to be open. Like, if Cincinnati opens up, do you think Mike McCarthy would probably choose that because of the quarterback?
I don't think he's coming back.
You think Burrow could be gone?
I think Burrow is as checked out could be.
Yeah.
But if what's the quarterback there? The Zach Curtis. No. What's the coach in Cincinnati?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Curtis is Robbie's best friend. Lord. I think if he leaves and you get a commitment from Burrow, absolutely you could go there and do that.
Let's see. You know, Vegas could open up. I don't know.
But you don't think Mike McCarthy reaches out to Callahan and Vrabel and even Malarkey
probably.
And says, hey, what was it like there?
But he's probably already done that.
What are they going to say? What do you think they say?
I don't know.
Don't. She meddles. She's terrible. Has no idea what she's doing. Flies off that. She is her father's daughter.
Do you think he'd be more interested in the Giants?
Yes.
For two reasons. Intrigue with the quarterback and an FU to Jerry because he's in the same division.
Yeah. But it's also you're in the number one media market, man. I mean, that's the Giants.
Yep.
Right?
I mean, I don't think there's a job in the North that opens. He turned down New Orleans, supposedly.
So they're doing good. They're good down there. I secretly like the Saints.
Tampa or Atlanta?
I wouldn't do Tampa, maybe. I think Baker's a better prospect than Michael Penix.
And then Arizona.
Hey, I mean,
no.
Dude. No Arizona.
So like the whole group, let's say he's got his choice between Tampa, Atlanta, Arizona, Giants. I'll throw the Raiders in there. Titans, Bengals, Browns.
The Raiders are intriguing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just intriguing to me.
I think Pete Carroll's back anyway, but we'll see.
Mark Davis, if he fires Pete Carroll, then he admits it was a failure.
Yeah. No, I think Pete gets another year.
Interesting. I think Mike McDaniel got back on the hot seat after that, whatever that was Monday night versus the Steelers. Yeah. I don't know who'll be out back there. I mean, now you've got enough time. You're not going anywhere. You're still stuck in neutral.
Right. I don't know. It could be. You never know. 615-737-1025. It is time to give away our 12 Days of Christmas prize, a $100 gift card for A Moment's Peace, located at 9050 Carruthers Parkway in Franklin. And you'll also qualify to win the grand prize of a $1,000 Genesis Diamonds gift card. Joseph, caller number.
In honor of Derrick Henry, caller number 4.
Because 2 + 2 is 4?
I have no idea.
Okay. Caller number 4, 615-737-1025. And you'll win a $100 gift card to A Moment's Peace and qualify for a $1,000 Genesis Diamonds gift card. We're live at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. We're here at Omni at Bar Lines.
By the way, nobody won Powerball last night.
So what is it going to be now?
$1.5 billion.
Good Lord.
Cash options are right around $690. So
Wow.
You can get your dream of having an ivory back scratcher.
Thank you.
Do you remember that episode?
I do. With Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To him, it's one less ivory back scratcher. Damn it, Smithers.
I was going to buy an ivory back scratcher.
Oh, my gosh.
I think one of my all-time favorite Burns lines is, Smithers, I think I'll make a donation to the Children's Hospital. When pigs fly, and then the pig goes flying through the air, and Smithers is like, would you like me to make that donation now? And Burns goes, no, I'd rather keep the money.
My favorite's when Homer's losing weight, and he's 239. He comes downstairs, and Homer's so excited. He tells Marge, he's like, Marge, I'm 239. I'm feeling fine.
Oh, and she's painting Burns.
And he's like, hold on. He goes, my friend, he goes, you're the fattest thing I've ever seen. And I've been on a safari, right? So Homer goes to the refrigerator and starts downing Cool Whip. And he's so depressed. And he was so happy. And Burns deflated him. And then he leaves. And then Ringo Starr has an inspiration. You can do this, Marge. And then they play you got to sing the dues.
And she paints the nude photo of Burns.
And like, you make fun of, oh, thanks for not making fun of my genitalia.
Yeah. She's like, I thought I did.
Such a good episode. Welcome to the Simpsons TED Talk, brought to you by Chase McCabe and Joe Dubin.
Yes, absolutely. Because we love to laugh. That is what we love.
Hey, I didn't know this. The Winter Classic's in Miami.
Yeah.
Where have I been? Delivering
Nashville,
presents?
Donaldson, somewhere in there.
Did that get is it Florida, Tampa? That he's playing in it?
No, I don't remember. It might be, actually. It's at the Marlins Park.
Oh, so it's not at Orange Bowl?
Well, Orange Bowl's gone.
Or, well,
Miami, the football stadium?
Hard Rock.
Yeah. I think it's at the Marlins.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Rangers versus the Panthers on January the 2nd.
Yep, that's it.
So I'm applying for tickets. If I get it, we can fly down there and watch the
let's go.
Rangers and Panthers.
The Winter Classic's a good time. Enjoyed it in Dallas a few years ago.
Okay.
Dr. Crane, do we have the Kirk Cousins clip? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I figured now is a good time to play it. Have you seen this?
I have not.
So Kirk Cousins was asked about like adjustments and pre-snap and all that, and he got giddy to explain the evolution of this. This was Kirk Cousins with the Falcons.
You followed this week's conversation about progression versus coverage reads and all that.
No, but I'd love to get into it. I can get on this soapbox if you want me to. Like, I can get on this because I lived the transfer. I lived the jump.
Right.
So I came into the league, even at Michigan State, it was you see coverage and you pick a side and you basically take 5 eligibles down to 2, down to your check down. And so you cut the field in half, and it was, I got single high, I'm going, outside the red line to inside to my back. And you're really only thinking about 3 eligibles because the other 2 over here were meant for split safety, and I got single high. And so it kind of protected you. And then sometimes you would alert that other side if you got pressure. So you'd be like, I'm working this route versus split safety or pressure. If I get single high, no pressure, then I work the other side. So that was everything was, single high, split safety, pressure, quarters, off, bump, man zone, all these things. But what happened was defenses got so good at disguising it that I would be so stressed going into games going, the whole game plan is built on, is it single high or split safety? And I can't see if it's single high or split safety. Like, these defenses are just making it muddy until I'm 3 steps into my drop. So coaches started to realize, like, if we ask the quarterback to do that, it's going to be really hard because defenses know that's the game we're playing. They're not going to let us play it. So then it started to become, let's just give you pure progressions and let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, that has its pros and cons. I remember when Kevin O'Connell was bringing a lot of pure progression reads back to him with me from LA back to Minnesota. it was like, whoa, like I got to get back to the dagger backside after already exhausting this progression. Like that's a lot. I mean, in my mind, like I'm used to kind of simplifying it and cutting the field in half. So, had to kind of work through that and get to where that was more natural. And then there's a lot of positives of it too, where you're not stressing as much during the week about what if I can't see coverage, because you say, well, it's okay. I don't have to see coverage. Seeing it can be a benefit, but it's more after the snap, where are they going? And I can just kind of progress through. But there's no doubt with the way the pass rush is, if you truly try to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to get sack fumbled a lot. So there's still a level of, it's pure progression, but like I got to rule him out pretty quick here so I can get to the backside, because that guy's coming around the hump quick.
That was Kirk Cousins, I believe, yesterday.
Loved every second of that.
I figured you would. That's why I wanted to play it, because like the detail and like, again, he was so giddy to like, can I explain that? I would love to talk about this.
All right. Now, when he's saying that, you think of Cam Ward, right?
I do.
Cam Ward's got to do every time he drops back to pass. So for y'all out there thinking, well, he's no good, all that, he's not bad. And Cam Ward can decipher every second of that. Problem is, he ain't got no talent around him. We've already talked about that.
Well, let's go back a few years. What was the biggest knock on Marcus Mariota?
Oh God, he's not a leader.
He was a one. Well, no, in this situation, he was a one-read quarterback.
Yeah,
that if he had to move past his first read, he was in trouble,
because that's what he did at Oregon.
Right. Like with Oregon, it was one read out, but in the NFL, you have to go through your progressions. And look, I think Cam, if he's got the right weapons, that he can do that. But the problem is he's got a bunch of guys that couldn't get open.
Right.
And then by the time they do get open, he's thinking they're supposed to be in one place. And I think that's where some of the overthrows come in.
And meanwhile, there's somebody that's rushing, as he calls, around the hump, who's going, his main job is to take your head off.
Right.
That's why I think Carson Beck will be a good quarterback on the next level, because he's not read, right? He is read, and I'm going to throw the ball away. I think that's what you need in the National Football League to succeed. You need a quarterback along those lines, not the running quarterback. It's not going to happen. It hasn't happened yet. So I love that, and it's just a shame that Kirk is he's playing now, right? He's not riding the pine.
Who, Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, that was very cool.
Looks like on Monday at 1 o'clock at Bridgestone Arena, Governor Bill Haslam and new minority owner Nick Saban will talk to the media.
Monday at 1
with the Preds. So
nice.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. We'll be efforting some things on that. I can say.
I hope so. You've got an ace in the hole that nobody else has.
Yep. One of his players.
A good guy named Derek Mason, who ran a kickoff back for him in the damn Independence Bowl in 1995 or 96 against LSU. So, there you go.
Yep. So, pretty cool. That'll be interesting to see. We'll have more coming from the Omni. Greg Wyshynski going to join us at the top of the hour. We'll talk hockey with him. Do want to update everyone. It does look like I'm not seeing like 100%, but unfortunately it looks like the plane crash in North Carolina did have Greg Biffle and his family on board. But waiting for some official reports. But Cletus McFarland, if you're familiar with him, who's a stunt driver and a race car driver, put a post out saying that it was them because they were on the way to see him. So that is really just unfortunate news. And a lot of the NASCAR community, coming out and saying, pray and all this stuff, but it's not looking good. Not looking good. So really hate to see that. And, quick story. I met Greg a couple times. He was not a full-time driver by the time I was really covering the sport, but I did get to talk to him the morning of the Daytona 500 when he came back. And was, one of the nicest individuals. And I was so grateful. I'm like, dude, this is the morning of the biggest race of the year, and you're taking time to talk to me. And he's like, yeah,
that's
man.
very cool.
And you know what he said? He said, well, you asked. And I appreciate that. And so it was really cool. And so just thoughts and prayers and hate it for the community. And obviously thinking about the Biffles at this time. But as we learn more throughout the show, we'll pass it along, and also send in our love and our thoughts and our prayers to Terry Crisp after his wife Sheila passed away last night after a battle with cancer. And so hard one today, but just remember, life's too short. And tell everybody you love them, because you never know when you're going to have a chance to do that. We'll have more coming here at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 102.5 The Game.
What's so important is we've had big plays on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Here's Derek Mason, and he is 35, and Mason will take it back. 50, 45, back-to-back returns for touchdowns. 100 yards for the second time in his career. Junior Derek Mason did it a year ago against Penn State, and he does it here in the Independence Bowl.
That was how it sounded in the Independence Bowl. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines.
So there you go, man.
Derek Mason's kickoff return.
For Nick Saban, right?
Yep.
Just say, hey, Nick, remember when Derek saved your tail in the Independence Bowl? Do you know who the head coach of LSU was that day? Do not Google. Do not go to your little computer and look it up.
LSU, Jared Inardo.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Jerry DiNardo. And who replaced Jerry DiNardo at LSU?
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
In 99?
2000.
2000.
Yep. The infamous Rex Road could confirm this. I guess it's true that Saban took the job in Baton Rouge and then sent a plane back to Michigan State and said, whoever wants to come with me, hop on the plane. And I think only one coach did. It was Bobby Williams. I think that is accurate. Rex Road might know.
So wait, what was that?
So he took the job in Baton Rouge, sent the plane back to Lansing, and said, if any coach wants to come, hop on the plane, let's go.
And only one did.
Only one did. Rex Road, you can confirm or deny that. That's what I was always told.
Because did D'Antonio get hired?
I think so.
Because he was on Saban's staff.
I think that's right. In 2000, I think that's right. Yeah.
Because he was there when Derek was there. He was the DB's coach.
So we'll see. Here we go, folks.
So no. Because he was. I forgot he was at Cincinnati. He left Michigan State in 2000. He was the DC at Ohio State, head coach at Cincinnati until 06, and then 07 and 19 at Michigan State.
Who took over after Saban left at Michigan State? Damn it, Derek, call in. Let us know what's happening at your alma mater.
Hang on. I'm there.
Here we go.
All right. So it was Perlis, then Saban, and then, well, it doesn't say. Here we go. It was Bobby Williams.
Took over?
Yeah.
I thought he went to LSU. Maybe
99. So
he was interim in the bowl game.
Oh, these are bowl games. All right.
That's what I thought.
Here we go. All right, this is what I'm looking for. It was Bobby Williams 2000 to 2002, Morris Watts in 02, John L. Smith 03 to 06, and then D'Antonio.
Okay. All right, then. Maybe he didn't. Maybe nobody got on the plane and went back to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That's how it happens, man. Who was the last person to beat LSU? Who did Saban lose to his last game at LSU?
So that would have been 2004.
Here's a fun fact. Guy's still coaching.
Okay. 2004? Because he
the bowl game, yes, sir. LSU went to, I think it was the Citrus Bowl and lost to this guy.
Guy still coaching.
Still coaching. Or maybe it's the Outback Bowl. One of the two bowls in Florida. Still a head coach today. In fact, he's the longest tenured coach.
Division
I.
Iowa.
Get a name. 3, 2.
We had him on last year.
Hayden Fry. No, it's not. Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, Kirk Ferentz.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Then Saban left and went to Miami.
Which he has supposedly said he greatly regrets leaving LSU.
Bring that up on the press conference. So what are the chances you don't leave us for the Panthers?
Here's what I hope. Like, well, I don't hope this, but here's what I think is going to happen. You're going to get like 1 or 2 questions of like, hey, why'd you want to buy into the Predators? Great. And then it's going to be, should the playoff expand?
Yep.
NIL. Would you go back to Alabama if DeBoer leaves? Like, like it's going to turn into that.
And Nick Barnowski, the PR, no, I said only hockey questions. Like, okay, I'm sorry. No more football. Hey, Coach Saban, would you ever go to Michigan and coach? Let me ask you this: would you call him Coach Saban or Nick?
Coach. I am.
There's no right or wrong answer.
I am like I always call like when I see Terry Crisp. Sometimes I've called him Crispy, but usually I say, Coach, how we doing? Like I am usually like Barry Trotz is still coach to me. Like I'm wired that way. Like because I still call my coaches coach. Like it was weird. I went to FRA last year. And like there were some that were like, you can call me by my first name. Like we're adults now. I'm like, that's weird.
There are some who refuse to call because he was not your coach.
Right.
And that's fine. There is no protocol here or there to what you want to do. But
Nick says Mr. Saban until advised otherwise.
Who said that?
Frazier.
Yeah, you have to, because you earn the respect by them saying, "Hey, no, just call me Nick," because that's when you earn the respect of somebody.
Dr. Crane, will you walk up to him and go, "Hey, my name's Nick too"?
After I say, "How you doing, Mr. Saban?" And then after that, yeah.
And have him sign your wear a Bama jersey, have him sign the back of it.
Absolutely not. Oh my goodness.
I will. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just throw somebody else out there. I'm not gonna make a fool of myself in front of Nick Saban.
What was funny is when I went, he did some event at the Mercedes dealership, Mercedes-Benz in Music City, that he's a part owner of. And I went there to cover that. And so it was me and like Mike Organ and I think Rex Road and, and it gets done. And he's kind of, glad handing and shaking hands and like asking everybody. And he said, and I had met him at SEC Media Days, I think at this point. And I said, "Hi, I'm Chase McCabe. I actually work with Derek Mason and Floyd Reese." And he kind of looks at me and he goes, "Well, Derek's one of my favorite players. Tell Floyd that I said he's full of you know what." Oh. And he laughed as he did it. And I go, "Well, I've heard some stories about you two." And he goes, "I can tell you that most of them are probably true."
Nicky.
But he was very cool. Real quick, Kenny the mailman wants to ask a question on Vandy. Kenny, what's up?
Hey, fellas, I'm going to save my question on Vandy because of time, but I can let y'all know Tex Cobb is still in the area. We ate dinner about a month ago at Cracker Barrel, and he sat next to us. My wife didn't know him. He introduced himself to my wife as the handsomest ugly guy ever in Hollywood, which was sweet. But I felt sort of sorry for him. He had a long line of well-wishers, and he really couldn't even eat to where his food was hot, but he was so gracious. He was kind to every person that stopped and spoke to him. But, yeah, he's still in the area.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's
y'all
cool.
Have a great evening.
Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate it. Real quick, JoJo, listen, this was the coaching staff for Nick Saban his first year at Michigan State. Gary Tranquil was the offensive coordinator. Bobby Williams, the running backs coach. Charlie Baggett was wide receivers coach. Jim Bowman was the offensive line coach. Dean Pease was the defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach. Mark D'Antonio, DBs. Pat Shermer was special teams. Brad Salem was a GA. Mike, I don't know those names. Glenn Pyers was an assistant, and Greg Colby. But
95?
Yeah, but he had Pease. He had Charlie Baggett. He had D'Antonio, Pat Shermer.
His first job was at Toledo.
Head coaching?
Yeah.
No, he was at
Kent State.
Yeah.
Wonder who his staff was there. Because that's your first job. That's the job you promised everybody.
So you know where he was, right? Actually, right. It was Toledo for 1 year, 1990.
Yep.
You know where he was before that, though, from 88 to 89?
Houston Oilers.
Yep.
Houston Oilers.
And then he went to the Browns with Belichick
as
the DC, and then Michigan State, 95 to 99, then LSU, then the Dolphins, then Alabama.
So 1 year at Toledo.
Yep.
He was a Rocket, right? Toledo Rockets?
292, 71, and 1 in college. That's his record. And then 15 and 17 in the NFL.
Who did he lose his last game to as a college coach?
Michigan.
Look at you, man.
It was a good game, too.
Great game. J.C. Latham's on that line.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fumbled snap.
All right, we'll come back with Greg Wyshynski, ESPN. Talk some hockey with him. Chasing Big Joe, loud from the Omni, 102.5 The Game. Hour number 3, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday. We're live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines. And I guess we should say that if you hear noise in the background, I don't know what's going on necessarily, but the fire alarm is going off. So either we're being invaded by the Klingons or somebody may have pulled it. I don't know. But so far we're good, I think. So we're just going to hang out.
Right.
Here for now. But we say hello to Greg Wyshynski from ESPN, senior NHL writer with them. And, of course, he is brought to you, as always, by Old National Bank. Get old. Greg, what's up?
Now I feel bad for not having done this interview on the streets of Manhattan so I could have ambulances going by as your fire alarm goes off and really, really capture some sound, some natural sound.
That would be. I'm now being told it's just a test, so we're good there. But yes, the natural sounds would be something for sure on the streets of New York. So I want to start with your colleague there at ESPN. Rachel has written an article about different trades that could be made after the roster freeze is lifted, which is going to start midnight on Saturday and go until December 28th. And the first one is Washington Capitals acquiring Ryan O'Reilly from the Predators with 25% salary retained, and the Preds would get forward Hendrix Lapierre and a 2026 first-round pick. I don't know much about Hendrix Lapierre, but could be interesting if Barry Trotz decided to make a move similar to that.
Yeah, Hendrix is a good prospect, good player, has a little sandpaper in his game, as it were. But, I think what Rachel captures is what the going rate for someone like O'Reilly could be, which is an established top prospect level player and then a first round pick going back the other way. I mean, again, given what teams need out there and given the market for centers, I still think O'Reilly is probably top of that food chain. Philip Deneau with the LA Kings is someone to watch who's kind of the same mode of player. He hasn't been getting much ice time with them, and I think the expectation is that he's going to probably be traded at some point. But as long as Calgary is hanging on to Nazem Kadri, and it looks like they are for at least for now, I think O'Reilly is clearly the class of the trade board when it comes to centers that have a good, solid 200-foot game.
Yeah, but what I'm interested to know is, Barry was asked last week when he made a small trade sending Spencer Stastny to Edmonton. He was asked if the recent play of the team has kind of changed how he might look at things. He said no, that GMs are all calling each other right now. He's listening, but I mean the team's playing better. So it and they're 5, 6, 7 points out of a playoff spot, and it's not even the first of the year yet. So in your mind, when is the point where a team like the Predators should maybe act on some of these phone calls, or how long do they sit and wait and see what the team does?
Oh, I don't think there's any harm in waiting until, the Olympic break. I mean, give them some runway to see if they can play their way a little bit closer to the bubble. And if they don't, though, I don't think it dramatically impacts anything. I think there's going to be teams that keep their powder dry in the hopes of acquiring Ryan O'Reilly, because obviously he's not just a player for the regular season, but his postseason pedigree is one that other players that might be on the market can't match. Listen, I checked the numbers on Stathletes, which is the analytics company that ESPN works with. So I wanted to see what they thought of the Predators' chances. They have the Predators at like a 20% chance of making the playoffs, which is not nothing, right? Like it's right. A lot higher than I thought it was going to be. Listen, there's been an uptick, obviously 6-4 in their last 10. Let's see how this thing plays out for a little bit, and then there's going to be plenty of time to make some of the changes that they probably end up making, assuming that this team can't rise up to the wild card.
Talking to Greg, I'm sorry. This alarm just gets louder and louder. I apologize, Greg, for all that. Greg, let me ask you this. The news here, Nick Saban buying into the Nashville Predators. Look, I know it doesn't make top story in NHL and for all you guys, but what does that look like from where you sit when a guy like Nick Saban buys into an NHL franchise? I think it's pretty damn cool.
I think it's cool too. Not as cool as air raid sirens going off during an interview, but but pretty cool nonetheless. Listen, I checked in on that when the news was announced. It is a pretty cool thing. I think the NHL has certainly been an interesting place insofar as ownership goes. We just saw the Pittsburgh Penguins get sold for like $1.7 billion. The idea that you're going to have some ownership groups inviting some minority owners in. The Carolina Hurricanes, for example, are looking to sell a chunk of that team to help finance Tom Dundon's deal to buy the Portland Trailblazers. It's an interesting time in the sense that sports teams are a extremely valuable commodity because sports remains one of the things that plays well on streaming and plays well on linear, and sports rights are going to be forever a valuable commodity because of the nature of that content. And so people want in, and seeing Saban buy in was kind of a cool thing, and hopefully down the line maybe they can incorporate him into some promotional stuff down the line too.
I love it. Last night the Carolina Hurricanes were in town, and somebody was talking about building that franchise. They go 9 seasons, they win the cup in 2006. They go 9 seasons, don't make the playoffs. They change the uniforms in 2018. They get back into it. Somebody said they built the team the right way. You just had to have patience with everything. And I go through and look at this team, the Carolina team. It doesn't get talked about enough, right? Because do we take a team like this for granted, Greg? Because they're just good every year.
We take them for granted because they're not better. Let's be honest. I mean, like, if this team had played for a cup, I think that they would be lauded more than they are. As it stands, they're a team that we do take for granted in the sense that every season they're always near the top of the division. They play extremely well fundamental defensive hockey under Rod Brindamore. And then when they get in the playoffs, it always seems like the same story, which is that they just can't get that one goal at a critical time or that one save in a critical time to get through the Eastern Conference. Now, they've tried to remedy that the last 2 seasons where they traded for Jake Gensel of the Penguins. And that didn't translate into anything more than what they usually do in the playoffs. And they, of course, make the Mikko Rantanen trade, and that lasts only a handful of games before they flip them to Dallas. I think just the team they have now, despite not having one of those marquee scoring acquisitions like they've had the last couple of years, top to bottom might be their best offensive team they've had under Brindamore. Right. And so I actually think that they've got a real legit chance of emerging from the Eastern Conference, provided that, Florida maybe doesn't get Barkov back on game 1 of the playoffs and does this thing again, because I think Carolina's got a really good team this year.
I think it's funny that the GM, Eric Tulsky, his first consulting after he started doing all the blogging stuff, his first consulting project was for Predators during the 2012 season. I just found all the connections interesting in my life.
Well, Tulsky's someone that a lot of us in the media admire because it's aspirational. Like this guy, this guy wasn't a Conn Smythe winner. This guy was somebody who came in pretty much through the blogging community, but also being an absolute genius in his academic background, and then worked his way through the system, got the necessary experience working in front offices to eventually ascend to the top job in Carolina. And again, like, you think of the boldness that team has had in some of their acquisitions, that goes hand in hand with having somebody with an analytic mind and somebody who is able to, take a real hard look at his own talent pool and make tough decisions on players in order to try to acquire better ones.
Greg Wyshynski is with us. With the acquisition of Quinn Hughes, do you think Minnesota is a cup caliber team?
So that's a tough question to answer for 2 reasons. One is that I still think they're a donut. I don't think they've got the center position right now, but I do think that you have to give them a little bit of leeway that the Quinn Hughes deal is not the last one they're going to make, and that they could remedy that situation, down the line before the trade deadline. The second problem with answering that question is the fact that Colorado and Dallas exist. Yeah. and as good as they're going to be, and again, like they've done a really good job now getting a defenseman in Quinn Hughes that is every bit as good as Cale Makar and better than Miro Heiskanen, the other 2 great defensemen that are in that mix of those 3 teams. But they certainly don't have a Nathan McKinnon, and they might not have a Wyatt Johnston. on that team. And I think that's the real issue for them going forward. But again, there's time for them to remedy that situation in the middle. And if they do that, then yeah, I think they stand toe to toe with anybody in the West.
Well, and I know that there's some Preds fans who are probably thinking this too. You know, how do you rate John Hines? I mean, with the roster he now has, I mean, look, I liked John Hines. I thought, you know, considering what he had to deal with coming in middle of the year and then COVID and all of that, like he did a decent job, and ultimately they decided to make the change. But I think he's done a good job in Minnesota since getting that job. But, you know, how do you rate him with a good roster?
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out, right? I mean, it's not only just a good roster, but it's also them finding a solution in goal that they've been looking for a long time as well, with Wallstead looking like he's every bit the franchise goalie they've been hoping that he could be. You know, this is a team that's had strong defensive fundamentals. They've at times struggled a little bit offensively beyond what Kaprizov and Boldy give them. So yeah, we'll see what kind of team John Hines can craft there. He certainly has the pieces to try to do something special.
Greg, this weekend we've got a really cool thing happening back-to-back. Toronto comes to town Saturday. The Rangers come to town Sunday. I know you live in New York and you got the Islanders, you got the Devils and the Rangers. All that happens. But, I mean, when you look at this, I mean, if you're a hockey fan living in the Deep South, I mean, what a weekend, right, with the Rangers and the Maple Leafs coming to town?
Sure. I mean, and again, two teams that are extremely intriguing insofar as, like, you know, the seasons that they're having. In Toronto's case, it's them trying to move up the standings with the acknowledgement that their entire roster changed once Mitch Marner ended up in Vegas. You don't replace a 100-point winger like that, and I think they've really struggled to figure out what life after Marner looks like. And, you know, also Austin Matthews, their franchise player, has simply not been himself this year for whatever reason. He's had an uptick lately, but overall hasn't necessarily been himself. And so there's been a lot of hand-wringing in Toronto about that. And then the Rangers, you know, the Rangers are kind of what I thought they'd be, which is a team that is exhibiting a lack of depth in some places, especially on the blue line. That's probably going to keep them from really being a contender. But overall, it should be good enough to make the playoffs, and has arguably, you know, one of the best goalies in the world in Igor Shesterkin. So two intriguing teams that are still trying to kind of like find their footing and really make a run at it this year. But always exciting times when they come to town.
Like, how far do you live from, like, the Meadowlands? If you want to see the Devils play, how far do you live from there?
Oh man, you're showing a little bit of age on that one. They moved to Newark, like.
Oh, did they?
Like,
my God. Okay.
Oh yeah, man. They moved to Newark like about 15 years ago, and so like.
Good job.
I can get there. I can get there pretty easily. By car, it's probably about 40 minutes. There's like two different trains that can take you there too. But the easiest one for me is Madison Square Garden. I can hop on the subway and get there in about a half an hour, 25 minutes. And that's usually where I go and catch teams when they come to town on practice and stuff like that. So the hardest one to get to is the Islanders. That's one where you got to kind of plan your day around New York traffic to get out there, and then drive all the way back. So it's cool, man. I realize how lucky I am doing this job to have three teams in the area where there's always, you know, somebody in town, and you can catch a game or catch a practice, and it really makes doing this job a lot easier.
That's good that I'm not up there, because I've been calling you for the Meadowlands. Like, Greg, where are the Devils playing? Damn it!
Hold
Nobody
up.
here.
Here's the funny part, right? So the arena they used to play in, Brendan Byrne Arena, it still exists. Like, it's still there, but surrounding it is like New Jersey's version of the Mall of America. So it's just this like empty shell of a building, like this ghostly building that's still there. And I think that you can go inside of it and stuff if you have an event or something. And it's next to this gigantic shopping mall. It's a real trip to go to that mall and see a place where they won, you know, Stanley Cups, just kind of sitting there, not even being used.
I just think that the Continental Airlines Arena, was that what it was called?
That was that building. Yeah.
I mean, I saw Vanderbilt play a Sweet 16 basketball game. That's an iconic, underrated, I think, buildings, because there's a lot of things that took place there.
Dude, that's where I grew up. That's where I grew up watching the Devils. I grew up watching the Nets. And the thing I always remember about that place is my dad is extraordinarily cheap. So we used to sit like last row of the upper deck. And that was an old building before they realized you could do like a mezzanine, So
Right.
like if you were in the last row of the upper deck, you were literally wheezing from how high you have to climb to get to your seats because that's how the old stadiums used to be built. I got nothing for love for that place. I was in the building Game 4, 95 Stanley Cup Final to see the Devils win the cup for the first time as a fan. Like it's a special place for me. And my favorite thing about that place, by the way, the official attendance for hockey games at the Meadowlands was 19,040 people, because at the time, the last time the Rangers won the Stanley Cup was in 1940. So they made the attendance number for the Devils games the Rangers Stanley Cup curse year. I love that about that place.
I'm also jealous. You probably got to see Drazen Petrovic play basketball, didn't you?
He was my favorite player growing up, man.
Yes!
I got to see Drazen play. I got a Drazen jersey. I still remember my dad leaving a note on my door before school telling me about what happened with Drazen with the car crash.
Right.
But yeah, for a while it was awesome to be a Nets fan because they had a collection of really sort of interesting players, him, Derek Coleman, Mookie Blaylock, and players like that. And the whole existence of the franchise was basically to come see the players that come to town. I still remember going to Nets Bulls games when I was a kid, and I was probably one of 10 Nets fans in the building because everybody else was there to see Jordan.
Right. That's great.
Did you attend SummerSlam 1997 or SummerSlam 2007?
No, I don't think I did, but I did see a lot of WWF there when I was a kid, and I will tell you that when Jake the Snake Roberts first came to WWF, well before he became like a star, I remember seeing a match there with him, and he had the snake in the bag, and we were all kind of looking at the bag, and we're like, this thing's moving. What is in the bag? Because at that point, we didn't know what the gimmick was, right? Where he's literally taking the snake out and draping it over his opponents. And so it was a trip to see him do it live before he actually like was on television and stuff.
Oh, fantastic.
You know what's funny? Our question of the day, Greg, is are you or are you not terrified of snakes? I kid you not. That's our question of the day.
That's funny.
I will crush spiders. I have killed a rat. I am not a snake guy. Like I am at all. Like if I'm on a hike and I see something slithering, I'm like taking another pass around.
I'm with you.
I am not a snake guy at all.
Would you have done? I mean, if Jake the Snake would put a snake around your neck, would you be like, no, I'm not in this one?
Hell no.
I would have gone catatonic like I do at the dentist, where I would just kind of like walk to a happy place and just hope that it's over.
Oh, Greg, thank you as always. I think we talked like 10 minutes of hockey and 10 minutes of arenas, but this was fantastic. Right. So appreciate it as always. We're off next week, obviously. So happy holidays to you and the family.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy holidays, everybody. Thanks again for the time, and everybody stay safe and hope everybody gets what they want at the holidays.
Yep, absolutely. We'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Take care.
Greg Wyshynski, senior NHL writer for ESPN, joins us every Thursday here on Chase and Big Joe. Good stuff there. We'll come back with more from the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines on 102.5 The Game.
All right, everybody, one time. Here we go. All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Chasing Big Joe Show, live at Bar Lines here at the Omni Nashville Hotel, downtown Nashville. So beautiful here. I'm trying to look at these bowl games that we had last night, and for some reason, ESPN.com likes to send me someplace else, which I don't want to go to do that. We had a bowl game last night. Hold on now. I'm trying to get down here. Hold on just a second here. Oh, by the way, the Pop-Tarts Bowl is happening soon. It's a week and a half away.
Got the Xbox Bowl tonight as well.
Xbox Bowl. And that's Missouri State. Is that Butch Jones tonight?
And Arkansas State, you're correct.
Yeah. So last night we had the 68 Ventures Bowl. Delaware, uniforms looking fantastic. Took down Louisiana 20-13. Old Dominion beat South Florida 24-10. Now, South Florida had a new coach last night because their coach has gone to Auburn to coach at Jordan Hare. So tonight we got Butchie on the field versus Missouri State, who's got a new coach. Then they're figuring out a deal to hire SMU's offensive coordinator. I just lost his name. Tonight why are these bowl games so late? This game is at 9 Eastern.
I don't know, Joe. That's a great question. They had a bowl game, I guess, scheduled today at 2 or 3 in the afternoon?
Wait, today? Not today.
No? Might have been yesterday.
Old Dominion kicked off early yesterday in the Staff DNA Cure Bowl.
That's it, yeah.
And then the 68 Ventures Bowl won by Delaware. And so tonight you get the Xbox Bowl, Missouri State versus Arkansas State. Butch Jones, Butchie's still out there making it, getting it done.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, that USF game, I think it was last night, the quarterback for that team ended up foregoing to play and became, I guess, the offensive coordinator or interim offensive coordinator.
Something weird. Yeah, and I didn't understand that, what all went on. I don't understand all these bowl, like opting out and guys not playing and guys playing but have declared for the portal. I don't understand. It makes my head hurt, all that's going on.
Yeah, there's some news with Josh Heupel saying that he talked to media today. Said it would be like the only time that he talked to him before they go to national.
Yeah, so thank you for that. So I get an email. Chase and I get an email from the Music City Bowl, and it says, please note a correction to the advisory we sent out. William Inge, interim defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, University of Tennessee, will be representing the University of Tennessee at the coaches' press conference and serving as DC at the game. Why is Heupel not doing this?
I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, he made it known in his, I guess, press conference today or yesterday that he said, quote, that this will probably be the one time you guys talk to me before the Music City Bowl. So that's all that was kind of really said. I mean, he kind of went into talking about how Merklinger has entered the transfer portal and, saying it was a mutual agreement type thing. But, yeah, it's really odd. There are a lot of question marks around that.
Yeah. So I don't understand. Look, I don't understand a lot of things in life. That's why I am where I am. So we could, the interim defensive, I just don't, why are you not talking to us? So I sent an email yesterday to Knoxville. It's like, hey, we'd love to have Coach Heupel on the show. We're the official air quote radio station of the bowl game to have him come on. But now he's not going to. What is he afraid of? Is he afraid of getting questioned? Or is he recruiting? I don't know why you would miss this.
Joe, it was kind of a question for everybody before the season began. And you could say it was, far-fetched, but is it possible, Heupel, there's a little bit of a warming on the bottom of the chair there? I mean, this has to bring some concern, right?
I don't know. Now that you've brought that up, the email makes perfect sense now why he's not talking at all during the Music City Bowl. Does he not want to be here? Does he not? Does he have something better to do? I don't know.
I've designated Dr. Crane to talk for me during this
right?
segment.
I mean, hey, Josh, the alternative to the Music City Bowl is nothing, right? So be glad your team's here and got an extra 20 days of practice with your football team. Just nonsense. I don't understand all of that. But again, like I said, I don't understand a lot of things in life. But so anyway, good luck to Butchie tonight in the Xbox Bowl. I bet the swag, right? They're getting an Xbox tonight, all the kids?
I would think so. And you know what? They've already won, though. Because if you play for Butch Jones, you're a champion of life.
Tomorrow morning, it is a Myrtle Beach Bowl presented by Engine. Kennesaw State versus Western Michigan. That is kicking off at 10 a.m. And then tomorrow at 1:30, man, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, Memphis versus NC State, man. We're going to go down there and have some fun down there in Memphis. Tampa. where
Well,
it's been played.
I got great news for you too. That all these bowls you're talking about, you can hear on Sports Talk 8:30 a.m. So we got you covered throughout the day on Sports Talk 8:30.
You mean I get to hear Memphis tomorrow at 8:30, man?
You sure do. And tomorrow night at 6:30, Oklahoma will host Alabama.
And that's on the big dial.
That is on 102.5.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
God, I'd love to have gone there. If you could pick one game this weekend, would that be the one you go to out of the 4?
Oh man, that's a great question. Yeah, probably. Because I would say that one, and then Miami A&M would have been a close second.
Right.
But I think to go to Norman to see like
night game,
night game at Norman in December,
the Boz.
Alabama against Alabama, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
They played there last year, right? Didn't Oklahoma beat them like 30-3, something, and knocked them out last year?
Yeah, that was the one that when everybody started calling for DeBoer.
Yeah, didn't make the playoffs. No.
Tulane Ole Miss is intriguing, even though I think Ole Miss is going to win. It would have been more intriguing with Lane, I think, but I don't know. I'm just kind of like with Ole Miss now. I'm just kind of like, whatever, because I just feel like they've lost some luster.
No doubt, yeah. Well, your guy left, man, and went away. So I don't know. It'd be fun to see Tulane beat them, but I think Ole Miss rolls.
Yeah. 615-737-1025. We'll come back with more here from Bar Lines at the Omni on 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday. We're at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Joe, there is some big news out of college football.
Uh-oh.
Texas football has announced their new defensive coordinator will be Will Muschamp.
No way.
Yep.
That's not like an old picture from like 2008 and 9?
No. They just tweeted it out 5 minutes ago.
So I wonder if his boys transfer in there.
That's
too
what
as
I
well.
was. That's what I was just wondering too.
Make some phone calls here in a little bit. You got, oh my goodness.
Yep. So
Dr. Crane. It's too late. But I wonder when we interviewed Muschamp, did we ask him? I think our very last question we asked him was, "Will you ever coach again?"
And he said, "Yeah." He said he wanted to get back in. So who was the? You got it. Okay.
Give him a second, pal. Everybody, give him a second.
So, yeah, Pete Kwaltowski was the defensive coordinator.
Oh, for Monsters Inc.
Huh?
Is it Mike Wazowski?
But yeah, I mean, they just tweeted that out.
What was the guy's name? It was there.
Pete Kwaltowski, and now it's on the website.
Huh? Pete Kwaltowski. Maybe him and Sully got a job together somewhere.
Texas football announces changes on defensive staff and hires Will Muschamp as the defensive coordinator.
That is fantastic. Oh, man. Like coming back home again. That's where he was 08, 09, 010, I think.
Yeah.
And they took the Florida job after Urban left, and then Florida didn't do good. South Carolina wasn't great. And
yeah, he said so. Sark announced that Pete Kwaltowski,
Mike Wazowski,
and Dwayne Akina will not be retained, and that Will Muschamp will be the defensive coordinator.
$2 million to do that.
Yep.
Wow, man, that's good stuff right there.
He was. Let's see. Muschamp previously directed some of the top defenses in Longhorn history during his tenure in Austin from 2008 to 2010, playing a vital role as Texas finished the 2008 season ranked number 3 before advancing to the BCS National Championship game during the 2009 season.
Holy cow, man. I thought he would stay out until because his son's the backup quarterback at Vanderbilt. I thought he would stay until his time. Because remember he told us how much he loved rushing the field in Alabama and everything and all the things that happened watching his kid play football. And now,
well, I mean, I will say when I saw that on Twitter, I was like, okay, I need to make sure this is true. But it's actually Texas putting it out there.
Welcome back.
And I looked at you, and I'm like, okay, if he knew about this, he would have said something.
100%, man. We were the bunch of Will's friends Monday night out to dinner, Monday night.
Yeah.
And we all talked like one day he'll get back in that. But friend of the show, Will Muschamp.
That's a good move for him, I think.
If his boy could go with him.
Yeah.
Because his boy ain't seen the day of light. Well,
No.
probably not there either.
No.
With Arch.
What did I see? I guess it was Heupel earlier was asked about getting a quarterback in the portal, and he said, "Well, we're probably going to add a quarterback unless we can get Phillip Rivers to come play for us."
But I won't talk to the Nashville media during the bowl game.
Yeah, that's weird.
Any luck on that avenue, Dr. Crane?
I do have the Will Muschamp clip. One of them.
Let's go, baby.
Is the coach able to stay quiet while watching these games, or once a coach, always a coach?
Well, I enjoy it. I do think from a defensive perspective a lot when I'm watching games, and Tim Beck and that offensive staff at Vanderbilt do a lot of really hard things to defend, and they've got a really talented team. And I sweat a lot watching it because I'm like, man, I'd hate to have to prepare for these guys.
Okay,
friend of the show.
That's a good one.
Kind of gave a
I
nugget there.
I thought I did follow up and say, "Are you done?" Or
I thought one of us did that, yeah. But listen, here's the thing. He sits there and watches games and thinks about defensive-wise how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get paid $3 million and do the same thing except get paid for your thoughts, man? And
Here's
be a
the
coach.
thing. Here's we all know how this works. Now, look, he is a friend of the show. I think what we have learned is Will's probably in that category of really good coordinator. Maybe that's his role.
Yeah,
but
right.
If he goes and has success at Texas, as the defensive coordinator, you can't tell me that one of these teams isn't going to be intrigued and at least talk to him.
Sometimes it's easy just to go run the defense.
Yeah,
buddy.
right. I know, but I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a, okay, Eli Drinkowitz finally leaves Missouri.
Right.
Okay, you probably at least call.
Yeah, you call.
Mississippi
but listen,
State.
You're not getting a 3 a.m. phone call.
No, I know.
Chase McCabe was at Tootsie's and exposed himself in the bathroom. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not getting those things.
Thanks for putting that out there.
Right, I'm sorry.
It's not true.
I apologize. Sometimes you just want to coach, man. Just want to be a coach, man. You make nice money, coach the defense, not worry about everything else. He had enough of that at Florida, enough of that at South Carolina. Now just go and be the assistant coach at Texas.
It's
deep in the heart of Texas.
Why not? Coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is. Celebrity birthdays. We'll call it a day. And again, thinking about Greg Biffle, his family reportedly killed in a plane crash in North Carolina. And also, as we open the show, thinking about Terry Crisp and his family after his wife Sheila passed away last night after a battle with cancer. Tough day here on the show, but trying to make you laugh and have a little fun as we go. But thinking about all those folks and tragedies affected. We'll come back with what day is it and celebrity birthdays. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chase and McJoe, 1025 The Game here on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines. And always appreciate them for having us. Again, our last show here of the year, but we'll be back after the first of the year. So thanks to Todd and everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays.
All right. First, unless we have Answer the Phone Like Buddy the Elf Day. So
worst movie ever.
Yeah. Arabic Language Day, Baked Cookies Day. So if you like gingerbread cookies or something, make some of those. Flake Appreciation Day. So like that'd be Snowflake. International Migrants
no,
Day.
it's appreciation for your friend that flakes out on everything.
Name names.
National I Love Honey Day. So if you like
Who
natural bee honey. National Ham Salad Day. Didn't know that was a thing. All right.
Barf.
Yeah, it looks gross. It does look like barf. National Regifting Day. That is
Every day.
National Roast Suckling Pig Day. Delicious. National Twin Day. Shout out to my dad and aunt. National Wear a Plunger on Your Head Day. Interesting.
What's the purpose of that?
I guess if you want to be a
Just why not?
unicorn or a swordfish or just, like to wear stuff on your head.
Okay.
That's the best I got. I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, that's
All right.
the
Just
truth.
Keep going.
That's all I got. No, that's up to you now.
Oh, I thought that's all you got on wearing the thing on your head.
No, that's all I got.
All right, time for celebrity birthdays. You got to get these within 2. We got a packed house here at the Bar Lounge. Y'all want to play too? Yeah, let us know. All right, Chase, you go first. How old is former New York Knicks and Chicago Bull Charles Oakley?
64.
68.
62. Chase on the board, 1-0. Dr. Crane, former Vandy offensive coordinator, former UCLA head football coach Carl Durrell. Lasted 1 year here.
Carl Durrell. Wasn't he at Colorado State at one point?
He was at Colorado, wasn't he?
Yeah,
no,
that's
he
right.
was at Colorado State. You're
State,
right.
yeah.
You're right. My bad.
I think he went to high school with his daughter, if I'm not mistaken.
You might have, because
Yeah.
they were here, and
He was with Mason, right?
he got fired after the 2014 season. He said,
Volleyball
you get out of here.
52.
55.
62. Chase, you're up next. Tennis player Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. She's beautiful. Good Lord. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
43.
41.
54. Dr. Crane, former Baltimore Raven, Derek Mason teammate, Peter Bulware.
55.
52.
51. Chase up 2-0. Chaser, Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner, LSU. How old is Jaden Daniels?
25.
26.
25 exactly. 4-0. Dr. Crane, get back on board now. How old is Keith Richards? Now, you can get this within 75 years.
Keith Richards is 93.
84.
82. Chaser's up 5-0. Chaser, Steven Spielberg. Quick, your favorite Steven Spielberg movie?
Indiana Jones. Probably. Steven Spielberg, I'm going to say is 75.
78.
79's on the board. I'll go with E.T.
Okay.
Chaser, the guy that you model a lot of your things after, Brad Pitt. How old is Brad Pitt today? Missouri graduate, by the way.
57.
55.
62.
Wow.
Dr. Crane, how old is Tom Cruise's ex-wife, Katie Holmes?
She is 57.
52.
47.
Oh.
Chaser, how old's Christina Aguilera?
44.
45.
45 exactly. It's 5-3. We're getting close. Dr. Crane, Billie Eilish.
26.
Uh,
I think that's it. 25.
24.
Oh.
Chaser, Price or Rights, Dr. Grant, 6'3". Chase, all right, that's speed round. Comedian Ron White.
Ron is 63.
67.
69. Oh, it's 6-4. I love this. Dr. Crane, how old is country singer Cowboy Troy? Somebody used to get really excited about country Cowboy Troy that Chase and I worked with. Hey, man.
And whatnot.
All right?
Cowboy
He used to conversate
Troy.
a lot with Cowboy Troy.
I'm going to go 62.
48.
55. Singer Sia. Sia.
28.
33.
50. Dr. Crane, country singer Randy Houser.
Randy Houser, 52.
55.
49. Our last one, it's 6-4.
Dun, dun,
Our last
dun, dun,
birthday.
dun, dun.
Dr. Crane, how old is Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Dun, 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 dun.
I got
It's
to get
6-4.
Let's see here. Stone Cold, I'm going to go 58.
Chase McCabe.
61.
He is 61 exactly. Holy hell. Chase wins 8-4. Gets a challenge at the end and comes off the top rope and wins.
And there is only one thing I got to say. Oh, hell yeah. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
Dr. Crane, valiant effort, though, but Chase is going to pour that beer on your head.
What?
Dun, dun, dun,
Well done. There you go, people.
He has such a bad. Actually, I think it was like 30 years. Okay, so it was 30 years ago today on his birthday where he debuted with the $1 Million Man and was the ringmaster, which would become Stone Cold.
Oh,
Steve
nice.
Austin.
So what was his original name?
He was in WCW. He was Stunning Steve Austin. I think he was Superstar Steve Austin, and then he was the ring. He basically, the $1 Million Man had become a manager, and he gave him the $1 Million belt. So he was the ringmaster, and then like a few months later, he became Stone Cold.
No chance he could have been the $6 million man, Steve Austin.
No, but he did. So his birth name is Steve Williams, and he changed it to Steve Austin because there was already a wrestler named Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Okay, there you go. A little backstory there for you, people.
So there you go. That is going to do it for us.
As we leave every show, listen, our message today that we sent out, look, if you're not speaking about it, that means you're carrying it and it gets heavy. So we ask you all the time, if you're going through something, please speak out. Please reach out to us. Please talk to us. We are here for you 24 hours a day. We're so grateful to the men who've reached out to us the last 2 years. When you're going through anything, I've been there. Talking helps so much. So please reach out to us if you're going through something. Know that you are a fighter, and think of all that you've been through, and you're still here. You are still here. You're still going strong, and we love you. Know that we love you more than anything else, and so does God. Have a great Thursday, my friends.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll DVD coming your way next here on 102.5 The Game.